Let's see if we get this going. Well, this is Chris Ockley on, what is it, Tuesday night on March 22nd here with Coach Todd Cooper. Is it Just Vault? Is that your club? That
yes.
You got? Okay.
Just Vault.
Former All-American vaulter at Baylor and coached there, and then you ended up in the Kansas City area. Did you family ties, or how did you end up?
I'm actually from the Kansas City area.
Oh, okay.
And I just went to school at Baylor.
Okay.
Came back home about 14 years ago.
Where did you compete in high school then?
Hey, Rick. At Excelsior Springs High School.
Oh, okay. I did not realize.
1981 state champion, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. When you came back, did you start coaching immediately with your club, or did you start at the high school level, or where, I mean, not start, but when you moved back from?
Actually, I moved back up here and I was head boys basketball coach at Excelsior Springs for 5 years. And then, just decided on kind of on a whim to build an indoor pole vault facility.
Right.
And it's just grown from there.
Yeah. How many athletes do you think on a year that you work with now?
Probably about 100.
Really?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Probably about 100 kids right now.
Yeah. And then you did you coach at Excelsior Springs with track then?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I coached 14 years at Excelsior Springs.
Okay.
And, I don't know, 8 or 9 state champions in the vault.
Oh, absolutely, tons of success. So
a lot of all-state kids.
You're right. Yeah. Was this your first year out, or did when your daughter?
Year.
Okay.
Second year out. Yeah.
Okay.
Just concentrating on the club.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And then also the business. I guess you sell and make and manufacture.
We build pole vault pits and high jump pits, and we sell pole vault poles. And sell all track equipment too.
Yeah.
Busy time of year right now.
Yeah. Well, it's been exciting to see some of your athletes do so well. You know, as they go on to college, Brian Hancock's fun to see him come back from injury and do so well indoors.
Yeah.
So
Joey Burkett right here, he's the #1 ranked sophomore in the nation.
Amazing.
In the vault.
Right.
Got a little girl named Emily Brigham, who's the #1 ranked sophomore girl in the United States.
Okay. Where is she?
She's over in the Kansas side. She's at Mill Valley High School in Kansas.
And what's the I know, I saw him at the all-comers meet, the Kansas high school senior, who I guess is signed with Kansas. What's
Casey Bowen.
Okay.
Casey Bowen, 16 feet 4 inches so far this year indoor.
That's great.
Yeah.
So
real well.
What are your thoughts on the overall status of vaulting in the U.S. and track and field in the U.S. overall?
The vaulting is fairly strong right now. We've got a bunch of young kids. I think we're kind of seeing a little bit of a changing of the guard in the pole vault.
Yeah.
Some of the younger kids are starting to come up. So I think we're in pretty good shape in the vault in the United States right now. And there's some other clubs across the nation, and you're seeing some good vaulters, coming from these clubs, starting younger, what I mean, and going on to college and having success. And I think we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah. Tell me about some street vaults. It's fun to watch some of these online. I unfortunately have not made it to any yet, but that's just
they're a blast.
Yeah.
The El Dorado Street Vault in Kansas is great. We had a street vault on the Plaza last year in Kansas City. Gardner, Kansas had a street vault.
Yeah.
One in St. Louis.
Right, the pole vault explosion, the 4th of July in St. Charles.
They're just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, looking for obviously, I'm sure you would suggest trying to get kids involved as early as they can in track and in vaulting. But as a coach, what are you looking at for some of the talents or strengths that some kids might have that, hey, this guy could really develop into a good vaulter?
A lot of the kids that do gymnastics, especially the girls when they're younger, and they find that they're a little bit burnt out on gymnastics, and they start to get into junior high and high school, and are kind of looking for a sport. They kind of gravitate to the vault. But if you can find a kid with some gymnastics background and ability that can run, you know what I mean? Because you obviously have to run well with a pole to jump high.
Yeah.
So kids like Joe that are big and strong and fast and coordinated. It takes a lot to jump high.
Yeah.
But technique goes a long way. If a kid has a lot of desire to be good and he wants to put some time into it, just some coaching and some technique goes a long way in this event. Right.
What was as an athlete, what was the highlight of your career, the thing that, you remember, the most exciting moment that you had?
One of the best moments ever for me was winning a state championship, just in high school and being a high school All-American. I was a 4-time Southwest Conference champion, which back in the day when the Southwest Conference existed,
still,
Baylor and Arkansas was in there.
Right.
Being an All-American in college 3 times was nice. Winning the Drake Relays a couple times, one of my favorite meets of all time.
Just a blast. I'd love to, there's so many coaches that coach high school in Missouri that I just love, and if they open it up to some more instead of just Iowa kids, or just to get even if they retire, just go up to experience. It's just the atmosphere is amazing.
Great meet, the Drake relays, great meet. Yeah, Olympic trials, just a lot of going to Europe, competing in Europe. That's probably one of the highlights.
Oh, just the craziness of the fans. Yeah. They're so knowledgeable and enthusiastic and into it.
Track in Europe is like football.
Right.
Right. That's their #1 sport.
Yeah. Yeah. What about coaching? I'm sure it had to be exciting to see your, highlight of your career. Maybe coaching your daughter to such great heights and state titles. What was that the biggest thing that stand out as a coach?
Very rewarding. Yeah. There's no substitute for. It's hard to coach your kid, but then when you do successfully coach your own kid, it's really rewarding. Yeah. And then I think of all these kids as my kids, and I try to get around to as many meets as I can all over the state, just because I have kids that drive hundreds of miles to come and jump. And I just try to get around and see them jump. They're just the pole vault's kind of like a fraternity. It's only a little fraternity. And, and they all. Nice thing about pole vaulters all kind of try to stick together.
Oh, it's. I see the vaulters and there's multi-events athletes that really have just this amazing.
They have a bond.
And this camaraderie and sense to just push each other harder and farther.
You could be competing against another vaulter, and if he needed a pole, you'd let him borrow yours. Because you kind of understand how much is involved in it to jump and jump high.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with us, and I know that you may have some competition now with Jeff Hartwig, retiring, and I think just starting up his own club. So he may steal a kid or two away from you. So you'll have to.
Those St. Louis kids, they can stay home, and that's a long drive for them. That'd be great.
And the website justvault.org, is that right?
Justvault.org.
All right. Well, thanks a bunch.